Zed Editor. And now this is kind of out of left field. I've done a video on Zed, I think like a year ago, but I used it as like a VS Code replacement. As most videos about Zed are kind of like a replacement of VS Code, I've since kind of changed my mind. I feel like Zed is if Neovim and VS Code had a baby, and this is what it produced. That's kind of where it is now, and I want to show you my setup because it's different from anybody else's that I've seen online, and I use it a lot different. But I want to just run down real fast what it is. One, it's a very fast editor. It launches a lot faster than VS Code, but it has a lot of other cool things. It has the typical AI stuff, but there's a toggle just to turn all that crap off if you're not even into it. But I use AI pretty extensively these days, especially when it comes to coding. Parallel agents, I don't use like you see online. There's these vibe coders that run like 16 agents at the same time. I don't really do anything like that. I have done it in Zed, but mostly for like scaffolding or something where I haven't touched the code yet and I just kind of want a base to work off of or an idea to just kind of flesh out before actually smoothing over the code by actually looking at it with human eyes. The edit prediction is fantastic. You can use either their built-in one from Zed, or I use it a different way, which I'm about to show. Git support was different from VS Code. So the very first, I did it on a live stream, first hour or two of me trying to figure out how the Git workflow was. It's just different from VS Code. And I've grown to really enjoy it, and it's actually gotten a lot faster for me than compared to the VS Code counterpart. Vim friendly. Now, this I was unsure about. Now, I've installed like the Vim plugin in VS Code, and it just never felt good. But in Zed, this is probably my biggest shock out of everything, is the Vim bindings are really awesome, and they have fantastic support for Vim mode, and they show you the great default bindings here. I'll leave a link to all this as well. And I did an entire article that I'm kind of working on, kind of smoothing out of all the little things that I do with it. But the big things I do differently is I do take in the VS Code base key map, but then I add Vim mode on top of it. I have my base default theme, which I kind of change around. I'm going to show you the themes in Zed as well, which is pretty extensive. And they also have extensive extension support, which I didn't add here. The right side panels, I essentially took all the panels from the left side, pushed them to the right because I do a lot of streaming and I have very limited real estate. And whenever I stream with VS Code, it's kind of like jumbled together. Where Zed, it's just a nice clean layout. It's real easy to read what I'm doing. I can put everything on the right side, so it sits right between me and the content, so I'm not like, my head's not sticking in the way of everything, which is nice. And then I did a bunch of custom bindings. And then there's also something I haven't seen anybody actually talk about in Zed called custom tasks. There's a task.json that you can do. Also, the settings and key maps and everything is in JSON format as well, which I absolutely love. So I've actually backed these up to my own Git repository, and I back this up between Windows, Mac, Linux. And I'm just really happy with all the different options I have here. So I've covered this in my Neovim video, but I used to have like an image clip plugin to add WebP files. So what I would do a lot of times, just to kind of show this task system that I have set up, which I haven't seen anybody do yet, but let's say I wanted to add like this screenshot to this article in markdown file. Typically you would save the file, maybe upload it if you're using like WordPress or some crap, or you would copy it over into your images directory and then reference it in a markdown like you see here. It would be like that type of markdown. But let's say I want to add it right below my screenshot here. I can just do my plugin and then say, what is my file name here? Right now I have it as verbose because I was just debugging this. We'll just say files. And then it kind of spits out everything. I put Wayland and Xorg support in. So it kind of gives me that, and then I can just use my hotkey to get rid of it. You'll see it's added right below Zed's screen. And if we go over to here, there's my next screenshot right below this one. Perfect. And I can just come here, go up, delete it, and you'll see this just disappear. So really, really nice. And in the back end, what's that doing? You can see, like, I'm going to go ahead and delete this file, but it's just adding these WebP files directly in, already optimized for web. So they won't even, like, this highly high resolution file is only like 43 KB, where if it was like a PNG, it'd be like 4 megs. So that's one workflow I use for it as well. Now, as far as the coding, now I have a GitHub Copilot Pro membership for free because I have a big repository on GitHub. So I get a bunch of premium requests for free, and I'm going to use those. They have extensive agent support here, which let me pull up that. We'll pull up the agent support, and you can actually configure these agents. Let's go settings, and you have all these agents to choose from. Now, right now I'm using Copilot or GitHub Copilot, but you could do Gemini CLI, Cursor if you have a subscription to it, Claude Agent, all of these other ones. And it'd be kind of funny to have a Cursor subscription in here, but I can see a world where I would use Cursor and Zed, because Cursor has like a really good editor for some of, like, let's say web pages, specifically highlighting and changing elements with AI is really nice in Cursor. But a lot of times I don't want that huge bloat, because it's a fork of VS Code and it's a bit longer to load up, where Zed, I can close it out, I can pull it up again, and it just launches, and it's just so much nicer than VS Code and most other graphic editors I've used. And I can kill that, add this. I have everything hotkeyed, so I can go right to my edits, but I could also pull up different things. So like, let's say I want to add or open up my Neovim one. I can go Neovim, and I have directly here all my Neovim articles I've written in the past. So I can go Neovim Ultimate Editor. Oh, okay, what's going on here? And I can just kind of tab through, exit out, and search everything right as I would in Neovim, but using Zed. So all these custom key bindings are done in the key maps file, which you can set right here. If you want to use it just directly from text syntax, or you can just open it and do it through the GUI. So it's, when I say VS Code and Vim had a baby, or Neovim had a baby, that's what I kind of mean. You can blend both seamlessly, and if there's an extension you're using all the time in Neovim, you can pull it in and make your own in Zed, and it's relatively easy. Now, earlier I talked about the threads flow. The cool thing here is when I'm editing or doing things, I might be working here, and then all of a sudden, oh, you know what, this is gonna take a while to finish out this response with this agent, and I want to go ahead and switch projects. Well, using this flow, not only can you do parallel processes, which they highly tout, but what I actually end up using it for is, I have a whole bunch of open source projects. I'm like, hey, I need to come back to here, and it'll pull up that Git repository where I made this request. Or let's say I go here to say, hey, I need to expand this. This is Zed Titus, and what was I doing last? This is when I was figuring out my cut and paste directly in Zed. So it takes me exactly to the Git repository where I ran that agent mode. And if I run in one right now, let's say make a task that launches Neovim. Let's say I want to get just a CLI editor and pull it up in another space. And while this goes, you'll see that circle going. I can actually flip back to something else and be like, oh, well, already it's prompting me, oh, it's needing this. Let's just say always allow, and then come back here. Well, it's already edited and changed it, because everything can be set up perfectly in the settings file. So often in VS Code, I was using the auto, and it was just grabbing whatever one, and it would go into a thinking model. And, you can change that around a little bit in VS Code. But with Zed, the nice thing is I can just say, hey, I'm coding mostly in here. I just want to use GPT 5.2 codecs, or sometimes I might need like Sonnet 4.6, or even I can pull in Opus as well, which isn't on the list here, but I could. Or if, let's say you're not, let's say you're using it for writing mostly markdown files, you might want to use a 5.4 instead. You could just hold Control, click it, and then it would set 5.4 as the defaults. But right now, 5.2 codecs is kind of my favorite at the time of this video, which, a week from now, it'll probably change, and I can easily just go in and change those defaults. I'll leave a link directly to their Vim mode. If you're a big Neovim guy and you still kind of have VS Code or Cursor on the side, I think Zed would be a replacement for both for you. It's just that good. So let's say I have this line here. I can actually take this whole line. Let's say I highlight it. I can pull that right into here. Let's go with the new task. Make better format for markdown. And here you go. Bam. And then it'll go through, look at what I've already done, say, oh, yep, let's fix that. We'll add the context here. You could do control semicolon for it, or you can just manually drop it here. Or you can actually just take it and give it context by just dragging and dropping the file as well. And boom, there it is. It would just grab it and grab it there. So it works seamlessly with file browsing, just using a selected syntax saying just grab these lines and then pulling up a new agent with that. You could spin it and just add it directly through the GUI if you're a mouse user. I love that they have all these options available. All right. And then it says, hey, yeah, there's a couple things here you probably should fix. The Zed screenshot for the hint, probably wise. You have this, fixes some capitalization, and then adds the actual markdown link for the Zed Vim binding stuff. And then that's about it. So pretty straightforward. Since this is a list, you don't need to put periods. I like it. So that actually made all the changes over here. You can see it. And it's ready to go. So let's say you're now ready to push this live. What's the Git repository look like? Now you can come over into your page. I'll use a hotkey. You can see the track changes over here. Now you could just use your keyboard and mouse and commit and push as you normally would. But a lot of times I don't necessarily want to do this unless it's like a Git diff where I want to see exactly what changed. Like, what did I change here? Well, this is a whole new file, so quite a bit changed, and this is just a new image, so it's really not going to tell me much. So let's just go ahead and close this, and instead, I'm going to close this out, which you can do Control or space WQ, and instead, I'll go through the CLI because I'm used to just doing most of my commits here. You can do a git status here. I have my own commit where it'll do a git add, a git comment, and a git push all in one. So I call it lazy G. And this would publish it. But before I publish it, actually, let's go up a little bit and let's actually change this to a draft so it doesn't necessarily go there because it does get pushed directly to my website. Looks like we have some. So let's go ahead and pull those changes, merge the branch. Now we can do a git push. And it resolved all those conflicts right there. Close out. I'm done. So cool on that side of things. So I was messing with it, and there's lazy git and other things I actually mess with on the live stream. But in the end, this is kind of a little workflow I settled on. Now you might be working on different branches, so you could actually go back through these branches. Like this is an old branch I have. Probably need to delete that branch. You can see your stashes right here, and that's it. This is your work trees. And you can switch your projects. The nice thing is it keeps all your projects in the top left, so it's really easy to switch between projects, and it kind of remembers those recent projects. You can also do like a Control O and hotkey pretty much anything and everything using the keybinds. I just want to kind of wet your beak a little bit with Zed, and I wanted to just kind of show things that I haven't seen a lot of people do. A lot of other influencers went through and went through the settings file and showed like the toggles for AI and that. I figure you're smart enough to already know all that, or go and change those yourself. I just wanted to kind of show a little bit more of the advanced side of Zed here. I've just really enjoyed a lot of how fast it is, how responsive. Like sometimes I'll go Groovebox dark, or even a dark soft I like, or even maybe a JetBrains dark if I'm going a little bit darker than usual. But typically I try and go a little bit softer. If I want more contrast, Groovebox is my favorite. If you want to go real like retro hacker vibes, I went ahead and put like some cyberpunk or Blade Runner stuff in here, which is I thought. But you have like a whole bunch of community stuff in here, and man, it It's so much better than a lot of the alternatives where you're constantly like, oh, how do I change this? Or, oh, it's too much of a pain to change my theme, I'm not going to do it. You can literally bind this to a hotkey if you want. So if you want to change themes every 5 minutes, you can. And it's not that big a deal. It literally could be a half a second between toggles, which is great. So I'm going to leave it here. I love this. I might make like an entire hour-long video going over Zed, if that's interested to you, or if this video does real well. But for now, Zed is my home. And I know a lot of people from my chat earlier in live streams were like, he's going to be back on VS Code, as they saw me kind of going through my workflow and going, oh, I'm going to change this and that. It's way different, but I love it. So with that, let me know your thoughts down in the comments below, and I'll see you in the next one.